Well, I don't know if you saw the video where John Romero talks about Corona and what it can do and stuff like that, but he says in the interview that one of the biggest problems that game developers are facing is creating something that somebody has never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many variations. You know, there's a certain number of game mechanics and a certain number of of things that have already been done, and then you take variations of those things and create games, and then it gets to the point where it's like, well, yeah, you could pick anything, right? You could pick and say, oh, well, I've seen that before. Well,
I would posit that if you took apart any game and really examine the individual mechanics components, you could say that they've all been done before.
Yeah.
Now, maybe combined differently or given different aesthets, but the core mechanics, there's just a limited number of core mechanics.
Right. Does anybody know if there's a book? Is there like a is there like a mechanics book?
There are books out there and there are lists out there, but none of them does what I find to be a suitable. This is one of those like it's just things where you ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers.
Very subjective, yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely subjective.
Interesting. You see, because it seems like it would be worth nailing down. I mean, just like we talk about, endless runner or platformer, or being able to put labels on things. It seems like it would be good just to have a book that's just sort of, especially for people who are sort of getting into the game development space, to be able to say, oh, well, here are some common concepts.
There are a few out there, but they tend to be very language specific. There's several out there on C++ that the GEM series gives a lot of different examples on physics capabilities, but again, they're language specific instead of SDK. And that's one of the things we do run into is different platforms each are going to have, while they're all using the same basic models, the language does create some variations.
Interesting. Well, that might be an opportunity for somebody to write a book. Because
I've tried to make that list many times. I've never been successful.
Yeah, you've tried to make that list. Well, hey, we've got a special guest with us, Sergei. Thanks
good time.
Joining us. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you hang out.
He's telling me my code sucks over here in the group chat.
Get off our lawn!
He says you're an old man.
No, he hasn't been around for weeks on end, and he just comes back swinging.
It just feels natural to blame
somebody. Lands one right on my nose. It's not hard to miss, but geez.
What was that, Sergei?
I said it feels. What did I say?
Legacy stuff?
You said no parentheses.
Yeah, you said no parentheses. Don't put parentheses. That's legacy stuff.
I disagree.
Semicolons all the way.
But you don't need them, so why
you don't need them.
Since we're 4 times your age at least between us, we're
probably more than that.
I'm 35.
I agree with you, Sergei, that they are not required, but I think that it's a good practice because it gives the eye a nice visual cue.
Yes.
It also,
for learning.
I think mostly parentheses are useful with regards to order of operation.
Yes.
But they still control that.
Yeah, but
it's when you need them, but it's not necessary for everything.
I just don't. Well, okay. And the reason I say I always encourage people to do parentheses all the time is because I really hate to see code where like half of it's got no parentheses and sometimes there's parentheses. It's just.
Oh, that's different.
Old.
That's
inconsistency.
inconsistency.
It's very confusing for me.
Inconsistency is bad. So it's better to have all parentheses if rather than mixed. But it's better for me if there are no parentheses because they really strike the eyes with what you don't have to see. Like, I don't know how it feels.
I always feel like it's different for me. I have trouble reading the if statement if I don't know where the body of the if is.
Right.
Yeah. I like to start off my program with Lua, mix in a little JavaScript, and then with some COBOL.
But you know what? Your opinion is perfectly valid, and
we're going to ignore it.
I don't agree this time. I oftentimes agree with you, though. So.
Well, for example, if you can code less, but still readable.
Yeah, and there are some people who like if you do an if statement, like let's say in JavaScript, you can put the brackets, the curly braces around the the statements, or you can leave it off, right? You can just, and some people have a preference, a very committed preference to one or the other, and I think there's good arguments for both, and it comes down to style. I tend to like to put them in, that way I know there's a beginning and an end, and I can kind of just visually cue that off, but some people like to leave them off, that way they can have less code.
Or just because I'm old.
That's the.
Sergei never said that though, because Brian was the one that said that. But still,
I fully accept my age.
All I gotta say to you, Sergei, is as Brian said, "Get off my lawn."
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, hey, that's it for this week. Like I said, go back and look at Hangout 129, 130, 131, 132. We've got lots of great stuff there. And then definitely go download the code and mess with it. Like we said last time, the only way that you're going to internalize it, make it your own, kind of own the code, is if you experiment with the values that are already there. So go do that. And then we'll be back here next week. We'll talk about the particle effects, how they work. And then we'll look at scoring, adding some collision sensors, and are we going to get to the interface? We're going to do some interface stuff maybe for the counter?
Yeah, it should be as simple as putting in a text field and a counter.
We'll see. We'll get as far as we can. Let's try to get far.
I'll try to be a little more organized. I might not use any parentheses next time, so it'll go faster.
Just don't explain pairs next time. We'll be all right.
I know. Don't go off on a rabbit hole. That's the problem. Especially when you're not prepared. I'm like Alice, very much in this respect.
Yes.
Not prepared for the rabbit hole at all.
It goes very deep. Okay. That's all right. So be back here next Monday, 12 p.m. Pacific, to talk all about mobile app development using Corona SDK. Until then, have a great week and happy coding.